Hey Aquas, welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina. I hope that y'all are doing well today. We have the cave, the stone, the eternal child, the creator, and the starborn. Um, Aquas, I feel like this is such a the eternal child. You know, what I mean, like there is just kind of this like, can I do it? Can I do it? Can I do it? You know what I mean? Because there's something that you're anchored in. Aquas, this could be a project that you're working on, an idea that you have, like a business endeavor that you're about to dive into. Like whatever it is, like it feels like there's something that the cave is the idea of intimacy, like knowing it. Like seeing deep into it. You can see the eyes peering out, you know what I mean? And it's just kind of this idea of like really deeply intimately knowing something and being anchored in this like intimacy. um so again, like if it's a project that you're working on, right? Anybody who's ever created anything knows that when you create something, that is like your baby, right? And so I feel like, like no matter what it is, however this resonates for my aquas, like it's just this idea of like you are anchored in something, that I feel like you're starting to, maybe it's something that you kind of like backburnered for a little bit, and you're like, okay, I'm ready to bring this to the forefront. I'm ready to really, the starborn is the idea that like you were made to shine. Aquas. You are the star card in the traditional tarot deck. So you're the water bearers. You bring healing. And the starborn is just kind of this idea of like you were made for so much more. And you've got to just kind of come out of your shell and accept it. And I feel like that's exactly what's happening. It's just this idea of like can I do this? I'm gonna do this. Like I'm a little bit stoked, but I'm a little bit scared, but I'm a little bit like okay, because kids, I feel like kids aren't as trepidatious, just in life in general. They're just kind of like, okay, here goes, like I want to do this. I'm about to dive in. You know what I mean? And I feel aquas, like you guys are just kind of like sitting in your inner, like in this childlike dream state almost, of like, I want to say like reconnecting with like in my wildest dreams, like if I could dream the biggest dream, what would that dream be? Like that's what I like. This energy is amazing and I love it. And that is one of the things that I love about my aquas. You know what I mean? Like you guys really are big picture, visionary type of people, and you have an understanding about, about the way in which like the role that you can play in a bigger, grander scale. You know what I mean? Because you think outside of the box, because you don't exist within the confines of other people, like actually quite the opposite. It, and obviously, check out your entire chart, because, like you could be, like an Aquarius sun, but have, like a different rising, and like maybe you're not the type of person who thinks out of the box. Like maybe you think that you do. Like my sun is my ego, right? I think outside of the box, but like do I really? But I don't, that's not for my aquas here. I feel like aquas, you guys are you are big picture. You do think outside of the box. You do want to explore life in a way that isn't the same as everyone else. And I think that you're starting to see something differently than the way that you did previously. Maybe it is this project, that you've been working on, and you're like, you put it to the back burner because you were like, like that's not sensical. Like I need to do something that's going to be more, that makes more sense. So I'm going to back burner it. And then I almost want to say like the idea of cooking is like coming through, but it's just like Like you were put your focus on, you know, this food that you were cooking, but the food that you made ended up getting burnt, or it was, you know what I mean, like it was a like a bad recipe or something, but like what was that, whatever it was that you put on the back burner, like that ends up being the very thing that like you eat. Like, take it how it resonates. You know what I mean? But it's just kind of one of those things where it's like you're seeing something very, very differently than you did previously. And I think instead of seeing it as something that you don't want to invest in, now you see it as something that you really like. This is something worth taking care of. You know, this is something that I am in love with. You know, this is something that I'm passionate about. And, you know, like I let it get buried beneath all of the like the mundane things of life. But for whatever reason, you're breaking out of that now. You're coming out, you know, to do what it is that you love doing. And that's creating. Okay, Aquas. I like this read way better than your last read. All right, Aquas. What is good with my Aquas? Oh man, one on the floor. Let's look at that one. Okay, Aquas, what's happening? The Chariot. Let me get these. Four of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles and the Fairy Stallion. You know, there's this idea of like incubation, which kind of ties into the idea of like the back burner idea as well. But I mean, the Four of Pentacles is the idea of like home and safety and security and you know, like family. And then the Nine of Pentacles is, you know, like you've been sitting on something. You've been sitting on this and like waiting for it to come into fruition. And, you know, I feel like again, it's just like this, like you're moving towards what it is that you want to do, that you want to be, that you want to create. But feeling this like burst of energy to do such because your whatever it was that you were kind of like backburnering, I think is what you're realizing that you're like that's what I'm actually passionate about. Is what I kind of feel like you're like, I don't know why I was so focused on, you know, this, if this is what I really want. But I kind of want to say it's because you got swept away in like what it was that you were supposed to do. Like what it is that you want to do doesn't make sense. And if you couldn't make it make sense to the people around you, then you weren't going to try. You were just going to go along with whatever it was that made the most sense to other people. And it's kind of like this being brought back to you and seeing it all very differently in a way that just excites you and entices you up out of whatever yuck you were in before. Okay, let's see what else is going on with my Aquas. Anything else for y'all? The Hermit and the High Priestess. I mean, there is just kind of this idea of really needing to pull away from, I mean, you know, the High Priestess is intuitive and, you know, like trusting your intuition and trusting like what it is that you want and trusting in who it is that you are and trusting in, you know, like, and again, I want to say like taking yourself off the back burner and putting yourself first. I almost feel like there was a sense of like duty or obligation that you were operating under, you know, but like to what end, you know, like I kind of want to say like if the old systems weren't working, you know, like why on earth would you adhere to them? And wouldn't you want to be the one to create a new, like to create something new. Okay, let's do, I don't know, Aquas. Like this read to me just feels like this coming back to yourself, sitting in your idea of what it is that you would, how would you outside of the box approach your role in this world? And then I want to say rediscovering this part of you that you put on the back burner and stepping into it, coming back to yourself. Love that. Okay, Aquas. The mother. The mother is the idea of someone who like clings to something and kind of finds their identity through it, and just kind of this like negative energy. Or the other side of the mother is the idea that your mother raises you up to like do like the best that you can and send you on your way to do such. You know what I mean? And there's this idea here, Aquas, I feel like, of you clinging to something that like didn't serve you and backburnering something that did. And in the end, what you discovered is that what you were clinging to was suffocating you and preventing you from doing the very thing that you really wanted to do in the first place. Do the project. Do the damn thing. You know what I mean? Like don't let people tell you who you're supposed to be or how you're supposed to behave according to anything that they say. You think outside of they. Embrace it, Rise up in it. Do the damn thing, Aqua. Okay. Love you guys so much. Thanks for hanging out with me. I am doing personal reads now. If you are interested in getting a personal read from me, they last for an hour. I've been doing personal reads for a couple of years now, and I find that an hour is about, or the 45 minutes. But I find that that's about, like the right amount of time to really dive into, any questions, energy, past, present, future, and the like. So if you're interested in scheduling a personal read with me, please click the link in my bio, and you can do it in that manner. Otherwise, please give me a like, share, and subscribe. I would really, really appreciate it. And if this is where we part ways, thanks for joining me. Hope you have a fantastic week, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.